94.5 FM. Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. It is a football Friday, and it's a rainy Friday at that. I'm out at Comalander Stadium for our Hill Electric High School game of the week tonight, and I tell you what, man, bring your umbrellas. I've heard some thunder, and literally in the last 2 minutes, it has started to pour. Now, I'd rather it rain now than say at 7:30. Not a fan of rain delays, but it's been a while since I've done a game at Comalander Stadium. Last time I think I was here, we had a lot of rain, and the windows here fog up. They don't open, but they fog up inside the press box. So it could end up being a rather interesting game tonight at Comalander Stadium, but hopefully one without weather delays. You know, you can play in the rain, can't play with the lightning. Either way, it's going to be fun. And I tell you what, the weather this weekend looks spectacular. You know, you think about, well, like I said, I'm at Comalander Stadium. The air conditioning is in full throttle right now. It is so damn cold in this press box. I literally went to the car to see if I had a jacket somewhere in my car. It is that cold inside the press box right now. So if you're watching on video and you see me kind of shivering a little bit, it is because it is that cold right now at Comalander Stadium. But, man, we got a lot to talk about today here on the Blitz. Of course, we want to talk with you. The Kia Boss of Bacon phone line's always open, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. On Twitter, you can tweet at me at Jason Minix. You can tweet at Pledge. He is at I Am Pledger. You're still there at I Am Pledger? I'm just making sure.
Still there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you looked at me funny like I said it wrong. I was like, did you change it in the last 2 hours? Because, you know, that wouldn't surprise me if you actually did change it. Vince Trevino says, howdy from Vegas. You know, Vince.
You're about due.
Love you, man. I haven't been to Vegas in a while. And I appreciate all you loyal blitzers.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I hear a butt.
I really do. No, I do. I just got to say, if I'm in Vegas, I don't know that I'd be tuning in. I mean, I'm just saying, I appreciate it, Vince. I really do. I love that. But you're in Vegas, man.
You're saying he's doing Vegas wrong.
Well, I mean, let's see. It's 2:00 in Vegas right now. Depending on how last night went, he might be in the room recovering, which is certainly understandable. 2:00, it's kind of hot. You know, maybe you just came back from a decent lunch and you got to get a little nap in before you get going on a Friday night hard in Vegas. You know, it's weird because I feel like I know 50 people right now in Las Vegas. And like 10 of them were at the Lady Gaga show last night in Las Vegas, which surprises me because I don't think these people would be like together, but they just all randomly happen to be in Vegas. But I see a lot of my friends right now are in Vegas. Vince is going to see Rod Stewart tonight. See, I had a friend that saw Rod Stewart the other night. And the stage set up, oh, he's at Hash a Go-Go right now. Very nice. That's not a bad breakfast place. I'm trying to think of where I prefer to go to breakfast. It's down on the Strip. Hash a Go-Go is a little too trendy. Although, Pledge, you mentioned this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Friday. What the hell? Let's get on a sidetrack. No, because I'm drawing a blank on the place that I like to go get breakfast in Vegas. A 24-hour place. It's been there forever. But you mentioned earlier on Halftime with Michael Jimenez that you haven't had a good chicken fried steak in a long time.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking about a good chicken fried steak because I haven't had a good chicken fried steak in a long time. Last weekend, I was in Copper's Cove for my mother's birthday. And We went to this restaurant called Little Tex in Copper's Cove. And Little Tex has been in Copper's Cove for 1,000 years. And let's just say it's a poor man's version of Denny's. I mean, I don't think they haven't had new chairs in there since the 90s. I mean, it's just one of those but you can get everything on there. They typically have a good chicken fried steak. And it wasn't all that good last weekend. Last time, like my favorite chicken fried steak in San Antonio is Tip Top Cafe. And Good Time Charlie's has a good chicken fried steak. But the last time I did Tip Top, it I don't know, it just didn't hit all the right spots like it normally does. But the last really good chicken fried steak I had was in Vegas with the breakfast chicken fried steak and eggs and all that kind of stuff. It was in Las Vegas, and you got me to thinking about that. Where is the good chicken fried steak place in San Antonio besides some of the obvious? Besides we know Tip Top, MK Davis downtown. Although I haven't been there in years, that place is really good. Good Time Charlie's. When I actually used to go to the radio station to work, we'd go down on Broadway and obviously it's good, but it almost feels like the good chicken fried steak has changed. There's just not a lot of places that have that good chicken fried steak and gravy. Cause really the steak is one thing. It's all about the gravy, isn't it?
Oh, it's a little bit about the steak. It's a lot about the gravy.
It's the gravy and the breading. I mean, because the other thing that, you go to some places and you get a good chicken fried steak and, it's massive. And then you realize it's all breading with a small piece of meat in there. It's when you get, a full piece of meat and go from there. John Robbins, get the chicken fried steak sandwich at Longhorn Cafe.
Okay.
See, and that's the other good thing. You've got to be able to have a good chicken fried steak sandwich, because that might be. But again, though, if you're going with the chicken fried steak sandwich, then you've got to factor in what kind of bread do you have, because the bread is such a major component of what you're getting when you're getting a good sandwich. But it is interesting, though, that you guys were talking about that earlier and got me thinking about when was the last time I had a good chicken fried steak. I've had some, chicken fried steaks recently, but not that one that goes, yeah, that's good, man, I'm coming back for that one. And that's really what you want with a chicken fried steak. One of those, you find the place where you're going, you think about it, you crave it. And normally if I hear you talking about something like that, or anybody for that matter, you start craving it, and you've got to go, exactly where you're going to go to satisfy that craving. I don't know where to go right now to get a good chicken fried steak, where it's going to be consistent, where it's going to be exactly what you're looking for. So where do you guys get your chicken fried steak? Where's the best chicken fried steak in San Antonio? Because I have a feeling at some point this weekend, I'm going to have to go get one. 656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. Pledge your whisper in my ear, man. I can't hear you. Mike on line one. Mike, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, I've got a really good chicken fried steak place. It's kind of unknown, but you got to live north. And I think you're in Stone Oak, if I'm not mistaken. And it's up 281, go east on Highway 46.
The Antler?
Called the
Antler Cafe? Yeah. Yeah, you know
Antler, man, that place is awesome. It's country food that country people eat at.
All out, and you know what? Maybe that's what you just got to do. You got to get out of town to go there. I haven't been to the Antler Cafe in probably 10 years, maybe more.
Since it moved, it's not the same.
Well, and there is that. The original, when I was doing Smithson Valley football and would go out there, it was kind of a tradition. You'd go out there either Wednesday or Thursday, do an interview with Coach Hill, talk to some of the players, and then I knew where I was going to lunch. I mean, it was just the weekly thing that you were going out there.
And the onion rings and the fried pickles, too.
Well, and again, I mean, you and that's when I was fat. Those were my fat days. And so, I'd go in there and I'd kill that entire chicken fried steak and the onion rings and then the mashed potatoes that come with it, the fried pickles, all of it, man, and the defibrillator that they'd serve on the side. I mean, you had it all back then. I haven't thought about the antler in a long time, but Pledge, I mean, you're right. Sometimes kitchens move. And, one of the things that makes an old cafe like that so great is the decades of grease that have been built up on all the equipment. And, when you move and you clean everything up, man, certain things just don't taste the same. But if you guys have suggestions, boy, that was some lightning right there. It's going to be a long night here at Comalander Stadium. Christopher Louis says Bud Jones.
Apparently on the south side.
Yeah. No, I got you. And Bud Jones is in a bad spot. I haven't been there in a minute. That's the thing. I got to go hit some of the places I haven't been to in a long time just to see if they still measure up the way they are. So anyway, think about your chicken fried steaks. I imagine there's going to be a run on them because all we've done is make everybody hungry and start craving chicken fried steaks. What is Logan's?
I think he means the Roadhouse place. I would.
See, I don't know if I'm going to the Roadhouse. I'm getting a steak. I'm not getting a chicken fried steak at a steakhouse. If I go to Logan's, I don't think I'm going there to get a chicken fried steak. Unless you're a kid, that's the only reason why they'd have chicken tenders on the menu. If you're going there, you get that, and of course you got the rolls and everything else that go with it there. But I don't know about getting a chicken fried steak at a place like Logan's. If I'm going to a steakhouse, I'm getting a steak. That's just the way it is. Tweet us your chicken fried steak suggestions at I Am Pledger. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. I went and held the Heisman Trophy today. It's in San Antonio. You want to go see the Heisman? Get a picture with the Heisman. It's heavy. It's a much heavier trophy than you would think. But it's over to Ancira Nissan until Monday. So if you guys want to get a picture with it, go do there. Lots to get into when it comes to football this weekend, and we will. Cowboys with an interesting game. And, you go back earlier in the week, I talked about going against New England, going against Bill Belichick, playing at New England. Even though they're not very good this year, it's still Bill Belichick. It is still Kellen Moore matching wits with Bill Belichick. And it's New England. And, I know Tom Brady isn't there. I know they're not as good. Mac Jones looks all right. This has just been an interesting week as far as the Cowboys. Everything is going too good right now. And historically, they're going to lose a game that they have no business losing. See the Jets game from a couple of years ago. Then today on ESPN, they were talking upset alerts, and they had the Cowboys listed on there. Now I'm really nervous about the game. We'll talk some Cowboys and Patriots coming up at 4:30. At 5:30, we'll get more into the Cowboys with John Machota from The Athletic. He will join us. We'll get his thoughts on the game coming up, and obviously the concern level for Tyron Smith. But by all accounts, Tyron should be ready to go. Same with Diggs, although Diggs is listed with an ankle injury as a game-time decision for Sunday. We'll get into all of that. Mike McCarthy this morning on R&R in the Morning, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. If you missed that this morning, we'll replay it for you at 6 o'clock. So lots of Cowboys talk coming up here on the Blitz. Obviously, Longhorns and Aggies as they have games this weekend. Andrew Monaco, the voice of those Texas A&M Aggies, he will join us coming up at 5 o'clock. I wonder how the week has been in College Station. After knocking off number 1 Alabama, how has the week been in College Station? We'll talk about it with Andrew Monaco coming up at 5 o'clock. The ALCS gets underway tonight. The Astros and the Red Sox. Astros trying to get to the World Series for the second time in 3 years. You've got Alex Cora. You got everybody involved in the entire cheating scandal back in the ALCS. Apparently not cheating, but they're still there. It's going to be a hell of a series, but the Astros dealt a bit of a blow with Lance McCullers being left off the roster for the ALCS. He pitched so well in game one against the Chicago White Sox. And then in the closer, hurt his arm. They haven't really, that I've seen, Pledge, release any details on the injury, but they left him off the roster for the LCS. So obviously it ain't good. Obviously it's more than just, all right, he's going to miss one game, because potentially a guy like McCullers, if he pitched tonight in game one, would have the opportunity to pitch in maybe 3 games if it were to go 7. So the fact that they left him off the roster is a bit alarming as you look forward to the World Series, because I can't imagine he'll get healthy enough by the World Series if they completely left him off the roster here for the LCS. So that arm injury might be a little bit more serious than what the Astros have told us to this point. But no Lance McCullers, which is a major blow for the Houston Astros and their pitching staff and rotation. But in this series, it's going to be about the offense, who gets the bats going. And both of these teams just do so well at the plate that even with an ace pitcher, you're never really sure what you're going to get. The hockey season for a couple of teams have already played their openers. Everybody in the NHL gets underway tonight. And it's just that cool time of the year where you've got the NFL, you got college football going, you've got hockey going, you got baseball playoffs, and the NBA is right around the corner. When you think about the Spurs, they play their final preseason game tonight at home at the AT&T Center, taking on the Houston Rockets. And then the regular season starts next Wednesday. It's amazing that we're already back in the NBA season. And the interest level on this Spurs team, everywhere you go, people are asking about the Primo kid. Well, quite frankly, the Spurs don't televise their preseason games. You've seen them as much as I have, and maybe even more if you've figured out how to get their damn app to work, because I haven't been able to. I'll get a little bit of video, and then it just starts scrolling the couple times I've tried to watch Spurs preseason games on the app. But I do think it's going to be an interesting season for San Antonio. I don't think they're going to stack up a bunch of wins. They're certainly not a playoff team as they stand right now, but I think it's going to be fun to watch. And, reading Jeff McDonald in the Express News talking about the differences that Keldon Johnson has tried to add to his game over the offseason, and, everything that Keldon Johnson experienced over the summer by playing in Tokyo, that Olympic experience, being around all those guys on the Olympic team, what he picked up from them from a leadership standpoint, just how confident he is playing right now, and obviously adding to his game. And if you follow Keldon on the social media, that dude lives in the gym. He is always in the gym. In fact, after that open scrimmage they had the other night, midnight, he was back in the Spurs practice facility, posting the fact that he was there. I mean, he is a gym rat trying to get better. And that kind of stuff is infectious. You see it with DeJounte. You see it with Derek White, with Jock, with a lot of these new guys. And that's the other thing. It's been a long time since you've needed a roster while watching the Spurs play. And I think next Wednesday, we're all going to need a roster while watching the Spurs play. Going, who's that guy? Who's that guy? And what rotation is Greg Popovich going with? And there's going to obviously be a lot of questions when we see rotations that just don't work as they try to figure out everything that they have, because this is a team without an all-star. DeJounte, I expect to be the scoring leader, him and Keldon, but it's one of those teams that could be a different guy every night based on the rotations, based on who has the hot hand. There isn't a true de facto guy like you had with DeMar DeRozan that says, it's all going to go through him. DeJounte was the second leading scorer, so it would make sense that he would pick up some of that scoring slack. But on any given night, it could be somebody else. I think they'll be a pretty good defensive team, but we'll have to find out and watch. And again, it gets started next Wednesday. So lots going on here in the world of sports as we get you ready on this Football Friday. And again, if you're going to a high school game tonight, take your umbrellas, take your raincoats, because at least right now, and it's only 4:20, but it is pouring down rain here at Comalander Stadium. And we did see some lightning, which is always the concern. They can play in the rain. You can watch in the rain, but the lightning and the weather delays that go with that obviously are going to be a big concern. We also have some WWE tickets that we are going to give away today as well on the show. So stick around for that here on the Blitz. And, one of the cool things that we do every year as part of Alpha Media is the 14th annual Raul Jimenez Radiothon that's going on our brother station, AM 550 KTSA. And you know what a tradition the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner is. 42 years this dinner's been happening in San Antonio. And last year, because of COVID, it became delivery. This year, it's going to be delivery as well. And the need is greater. Last year, they fed 10,000 families for Thanksgiving. This year, the need is, and the goal is they're going to feed 12,500 families, but obviously they need money to do that. And today is a great day to go make a donation. You could do it on our website, sasportstar.com, or you can go over to ktsa.com and donate some money. $5 feeds a family, feeds two people. And so as you start adding it up, a $5 donation, how much they can make that go and spread, you could help. So if you've got $5, go donate it. If you can do $20, if you could do $100, whatever you can afford to donate, please go do that today as a part of our annual Raul Jimenez Radiothon that is happening over on 107.1 and AM 550 KTSA. Presented by Airtron Heating and Air, Window World Institute for Functional Health, and Sierra and Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Just always a great event, something very cool to be a part of in San Antonio. So go make sure you make a donation and help out those that certainly need it. The Cowboys, as they get ready to head to New England this weekend, and it feels like a bit of a trap game. Are you a Dish Network customer? Let me know if CBS is back on, because I know, you guys that have Dish, I know Rob Thompson, I texted him earlier, but I guess he's probably still napping. He's got Dish, and he hasn't been able to watch a Spurs game on Fox Southwest or Bally Southwest, for a while because the contract dispute they've been in with Dish Network. And then I saw, watching Ken's the other day, the scrolls about Dish Network being gone. And, it's one thing if you miss like an NCIS or whatever CBS shows that you like to watch, you start screwing with Cowboys football and people are going to bounce. I mean, I was joking last week, with Alabama and A&M, not too many people were going to be upset if they had Dish and couldn't watch that game because of the beatdown they thought they were going to get. Turns out you had the incredible upset. But imagine the Cowboys game, one of the rare, what happens maybe twice a year that the Cowboys play on CBS. And locally for Ken's, that helps their advertising department because they can sell the hell out of a Cowboys game. And, in CBS across the, everywhere, because it's America's team. They generate the ratings. They generate the interest. And Dish Network is jacking with CBS in San Antonio, and those games aren't on. See, and if you don't bring it up, I get the idea that like Rob Thompson has no idea what channel the Cowboy game is going to be on. He just knows he's going to go find it. He watches Red Zone, and then if the Cowboys are on, and he goes and finds it. We're automatically going to go to Fox because that's where the Cowboy games always are. Then you find out it's on CBS and you're blacked out. I know Rob will lose his mind. I'm guessing you would too. I would. That or you've got to scramble and sign up for one of those free trial things. Because I had to do that last year when Direct was going through it. And it was also coming up on a weekend where the Cowboys were going to be on CBS and you had the Army-Navy game. And so I signed up for that 7-day free trial and remember to cancel it 4 months later. So they got some money out of me, so you always got to be careful with that and be strategic of when you're going to sign up for the free trials for these kind of things. Yeah, I know CBS is over the air and you can use the antenna. A little bit harder though. And if you're not prepared for it, you've got to go get things. And, you're preparing
them now.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up. Because when I realized that the game was on CBS, I went, oh, crap. I think they're still fighting with Dish. See, it doesn't affect me because I've got DirecTV. See, what I don't want is, like Rob Thompson showing up at my door at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, although he'd probably bring beer, but I'm just saying,
or you
got
can go to the Root Club. They've got those awesome lasers TVs.
You can go to the Root Club. You can find your place to go watch the game, obviously, but you got to prepare for that. I mean, if you're like me on a Sunday, you're firing up the grill, you start drinking early, and you're watching the Red Zone. You've got to make your plans. You can't have the surprise that, oh, yeah, the game isn't on this channel because these two corporate giants are screwing with me. And at what point do you pull the plug? At what point do you just say screw it and switch? I mean, Rob's put up with a lot with Dish over the years. And I don't understand. I would have been gone a long time ago. Crazy stuff. Let's talk about the Cowboys and Patriots as that game is coming up this weekend. If you're not doing it yet, you need to go download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com because it is the best new place to play fantasy sports online with daily and season-long fantasy sports. Sign up today. Use promo code RADIO. Make your first deposit. You'll receive a free $25 in bonus cash. Go to underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. Use promo code RADIO when you register to get that $25 cash for free with your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. It's a lot of fun. I love doing the pick 'em format. Pick any 2 to 5 player props, parlay them together. You could win up to 20 times on your entry in one night. They have the over-under on whether a player is going to go over or under a given stat line. They've got a rivals game that you could play. Again, download the app today. Start playing. Just use promo code RADIO at sign up. UnderdogFantasy.com is the website. We'll talk Cowboys Patriots when we come back after we get this Sports Center update from James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. As you mentioned, the Cowboys 4-1 on a 4-game win streak. They're heading to New England to take on the 2-3 Patriots in Foxborough. You can catch that game right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys. San Antonio Sports Star kickoffs at 3:25, but it all starts Sunday afternoon at 2:30 with the pregame right here. The 1-4 Houston Texans head to Indianapolis to take on the 1-4 Colts with kickoff for that game set for noon on Sunday, a game that'll be televised on CBS. In college football action tomorrow, the 25th ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 4-2, welcome the undefeated and 12th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys into Austin with kickoff from Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium, set for 11 o'clock in the morning, a game that'll be televised on Fox. The 21st ranked Texas A&M Aggies look to build momentum from their win over Alabama last weekend as they head to Missouri to take on the Tigers tomorrow afternoon. Kickoff set for 11 in the morning, a game you can catch over on our brother station, 550 KTSA and FM 107.1. And don't forget, the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco, will join us coming up at 5 o'clock. The Incarnate Word Cardinals are 4-1, winners of 4 straight, as they welcome Nicholls State into town for an 11 o'clock kick, while the 6-0 UTSA Roadrunners take on the 2-3 Rice Owls in the Alamo Dome tomorrow afternoon at 5. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with Mizuno irons and wedges. The JPX 921 Hot Metal Pro, Tour, and Forged irons offer Mizuno's fastest ball speeds ever. And the new T22 wedges feature 4 different sole grinds for varying techniques and conditions. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
According to TxDOT, on average, 1 motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadoches, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com TexasA&M.com for more info.
There's a lot of confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. With guidelines and regulations changing by the week, one thing is certain. You need an accurate thermometer for your family to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Happy Hour is back at Twin Peaks, and we're offering up more than just great drinks. Score yourself some chips and salsa for just $2. Your choice of mozzarella cheese bites, chips and queso, or fried pickles, where they're just $4. And the triple play quesadillas or 6 boneless wings, that's right, only $6. Each of these epic appetizers are craveable, shareable, and delicious. And what a deal. Happy Hour at Twin Peaks just got better. See you Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. Again at late night. Get to Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. And the hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway. And neither should your roofer. Your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They are reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Your exclusive home for the 2021 World Series. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, at Jason Minix. You know, we were talking earlier about chicken fried steak places, who's got the best ones. Blue Signs on Twitter says Cora's Cafe in Castroville.
Jimenez was talking about that today.
In Castroville. Okay. Ron says the Maverick on 181 headed into Floresville. Never heard of that one. And MK Davis, Alex, you got suggestions, tweet them to me. And see, and I'm thinking it might be one of those things that you got to go to, I don't know, Castroville or Floresville. You know, it's like those good small town places. I know there's a place in Johnson City that I've never stopped there. But they've got a sign that says, you know, world famous chicken fried steaks, nearly 3 dozen sold or something like that. I will tell you the Bluebonnet Cafe in Marble Falls is phenomenal. Great breakfast. Maybe the best breakfast spot anywhere is the Bluebonnet, and their pies are incredible. See, and that's one good thing. You know, if you're going someplace that has a great chicken fried steak, chances are they're going to have great pies as well. I don't know why that correlation is there, but typically speaking, a place that has a great chicken fried steak also will have one hell of a pie that you can get with the meringue that's about 8 inches high. That's when you know you've been to a good spot. I don't know if you can get a good chicken fried steak in Boston. I imagine Mike McCarthy has found good chicken fried steak spots throughout. Maybe that's something the boys can ask him when he is on with R&R in the morning every Friday morning, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. They got their tacos today And Mike McCarthy had some interesting comments, and Rudy J asked him about it being a trap game, because there is that sense that things are just rolling along so easy for the Dallas Cowboys that there is going to be this speed bump. And could that speed bump be Bill Belichick? And, I thought it was interesting the way Rudy asked the question. It's one thing for fans, for media to talk about trap games. Do coaches talk about trap games?
I've been in rooms where it's been talked about. I don't really believe in that. I think if you think that way, that you're really opening yourself up for those, that type of situation. I mean, this league is so difficult to win each and every week, regardless of who you're playing, and the health and the matchups that go into each game, and the amount of preparation that goes into each game. You have to look at every one of these games, especially on the road. I mean, road games this is a difficult place to play, let alone win games. So, those are the things that I always focus on.
And you've got to focus on that. I thought it was interesting that coaches would actually talk about that in meeting rooms, and that Mike McCarthy would actually talk about them talking about it, because I get a feeling that if you're a coach, every game feels like a trap game. We often bitch about coaches using certain cliches and not wanting to tell us anything, but the proper respect, the proper fear for an opponent has to be there, because if you go in thinking you're going to lose, you go in thinking, boy, our plan sucks and this practice week hasn't been very good, you're going to lose the game. I look at last week's game for New England. Maybe that's what has me so nervous about this one. Are you guys nervous about this Cowboys-Patriots game? 656-ESPN is the phone number, because they look so bad against the Houston Texans. And so Bill Belichick was on them all week. And they put so much into the Tampa Bay game and played so well against the Buccaneers, and then didn't against Houston. Because, they didn't try. I don't know. I mean, I look at Davis Mills. There's been games where he hasn't looked like a capable junior varsity quarterback, let alone an NFL quarterback. See Buffalo. Yet he throws for 300 yards against that Patriots defense last week. And if it wasn't for the great coaching decisions made by David Culley, Houston might have won that damn game. So when you look at it, you go, all right, well, last week were the Patriots not taking Houston as serious as they probably should have been? Was there so much into the Tampa Bay game? There was a carryover, and it just happened to be Houston, and that kept them from losing a game. But they're going to be more dialed up with the Dallas Cowboys coming to town. And look, it's not Tom Brady, so it's going to be different, but it's still Bill Belichick. And if there's a guy who is going to scheme against Dak Prescott and this Cowboys offense, it's Bill Belichick. How does Kellen Moore match up against Bill Belichick? Because that really is the matchup that you're watching right now. That's what you're looking for when you think about, can Kellen Moore call the right plays against the defense that Belichick is calling? Now, we know what New England does. They're going to find the thing that the Cowboys do best and take it away. But what do the Cowboys do best that you could take away and hurt the Cowboys? I mean, this Cowboys offense is so stacked. You try to take away the run game, they can throw it all over the field. They did against Tampa Bay and didn't run the ball at all. You try to take away the tight end, all right, so Amari Cooper, who's been playing better on the road, is going to be open, or CeeDee Lamb or Cedric Wilson. If you try to take away those guys, the tight end's going to be open. I mean, if you would have thought at the beginning of the year that at this point of the season, a Cowboys tight end would have the most receptions, you'd be lying. With all the weapons we talked about all through training camp and all offseason, we didn't talk tight end. None of us did. But Dak Prescott is going to throw to the guy that's open. He's going to find the mismatch, and he's going to exploit it. That's what he's done all season. So if you're New England, what do you take away? Because you can't take away the best thing and the second best thing and the third best thing, right? Cowboys have the ability to dictate, but also react to what the defense is doing. And Dak Prescott is in such a zone right now. I don't know what Bill Belichick is going to do, but I'm guessing he hasn't slept much in this one. 656 ESPN 656-3776. Let's go to Gary. You're on the Blitz. What's up, Gary?
Hey, one great fighter in the history of man said something. He said, everybody's got a plan.
Uh-huh.
Till you get punched in the mouth. So we know Belichick is that, that great defensive mind and everything. And if you have a one-dimensional offense, yeah, like you said, he can take advantage of you. But I don't think he can throw anything out there at the Cowboys that we haven't seen before. Dallas has been up there in New England many, many times, and we see pretty much everything he has in store. He can go and, go in and pull a rabbit out of his hat only so many times, and pretty soon that rabbit's going to be the same rabbit you've seen before. I don't think they're ready for what we bring in.
I hope you're right. And I look at their defense. While the offense is led by Mac Jones, that defense, the most points they've given up this year was 28 to New Orleans. Tampa Bay only scored 19 against them, although the weather was bad, although the weather is not going to be great this weekend. I'm curious what the Cowboys are going to do. I mean, you look at the game last week against the Giants, especially that first quarter, they had the opportunity to really blow that game open, but the Cowboys made mistakes. And, I kind of feel like if the Cowboys aren't successful right now, it's going to be because they beat themselves. And I think you could probably say that in a lot of games, but against Bill Belichick, when you're making mistakes, a lot of it is because of what Belichick has schemed up that is forcing you to either make bad decisions, disguise stuff, or you just end. I mean, there's a cause and effect there that I don't know that you had last week against the Giants. It was just, snapping issues that the Cowboys were dealing with. Offensive line looks to be in pretty good shape. That was the other big concern. But Dr. Jerry said that Tyron is going to be okay, which is obviously great news. And even Mike McCarthy told Rob and Rudy this morning here on R&R in the morning that the concern level for Tyron really isn't all that.
I think we're going to be fine there. We'll see how he feels when he comes in today. But it was not of high concern, but it was something definitely we had to. We have to make sure we stay on top of.
I don't know, man. You send a man with a neck injury to get an MRI, that's high concern. You might have got the MRI and said, all right, good. But, I mean, if that man is complaining about his neck, the same neck he had operated on last year that caused him to miss most of the season, yeah, he's got a neck issue. I'm concerned with it. I did find it interesting thinking about Mac Jones and hearing R&R talk about Mac Jones with Mike McCarthy and McCarthy's thoughts on the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think it's something that goes on, particularly in waves, more years than others. I think Mac is clearly probably the most accomplished coming out of college. I had a chance to watch him, Alabama, first Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, and he has excellent command of the offense. And I think today's quarterback, particularly in the space game, and throwing the ball and all the other things that you see more of in college, are coming in prepared, and he looks like he's handling the multiple defensive challenges that have been thrown at him so far. So I admire the young guys that are coming in and have to play in their first year, because I mean, if you ever play with a rookie quarterback, it's difficult. It's a challenge not only for the quarterback and the offense, but it's also a challenge for the whole football team. And this team here in New England, they're built the right way, defense, special teams, and the quarterback's doing a really good job, with their style of offense.
And again, Mac Jones has been good this year. I hope Diggs is able to extend his interception streak this week, take one away from his former Alabama teammate. I think that'd be pretty good. Dr. Jerry Jones did say today that Diggs is going to be able to play, although the Cowboys have him listed as a game-time decision. And that's going to be an interesting thing to watch on Sunday afternoon, because who's the top wide receiver for New England? Who's the threat? They got a bunch of dudes. Diggs travels. He's going to line up on your best receiver. Left side, right side, doesn't matter. He's following that guy to take away the best wide receiver. I don't know who he's going to be covering, matched up against when it comes to New England. Or is this where he just takes away the deal? Rudy on Facebook Live says, if I get invited for a Minix Thompson barbecue, I'll take my iPad so we can watch on the CBS app. I'm not watching a Cowboys game on an iPad. I'm just saying. I'm just not. I got a big-ass TV for Cowboy games. I've got iPads. That's not how you watch a Cowboys game unless you're on a plane and that's your only option. But I'm not going to sit in the living room and watch an iPad for an NFL game. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. He will join us coming up at 5 o'clock. But, man, coming up next, more National Pub for Jeff Traylor. And it's time to really start preparing yourself for Jeff Traylor and the rumors that are going to be abound on where he ends up, because I know you don't want him to leave San Antonio, but he gone. I mean, just the attention he's getting right now, everything that comes with it, the success that he's having, he's got to strike while the iron is hot. There's one line in this article that jumps out of the page when you think about Jeff Traylor and personal goals. We'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz. It is a Friday. You have your weekend plans. I know all of us are going down to the UTSA tailgate tomorrow. I know Rudy's going. Rob says he's going. Pledge isn't. I'm going. Haven't heard from Carl, but we're going to go down there, tailgate, then watch UTSA play Rice. We got our weekend plans. You've got your weekend plans. I'm going to guess none of you plan on getting arrested, but some of you will. People get arrested every day for all kinds of reasons, and if you get arrested, or maybe you get a phone call from a friend or a family member that they've gotten arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because you do. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. You can text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Score $1,000 now. Enter the winning keyword, COOL, COOL, COOL at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's a football Friday. You're heading to stadiums tonight. Maybe you're going to do some tailgating tomorrow. You got the Cowboys on Sunday. No game day is complete without some great Kielbasa sausage. And Kielbasa is the best sausage. That's the best that you're going to put on your grill. Love to grill sausage. Love to make a great sausage wrap. Just take that flour tortilla, wrap the sausage up, add a little mustard. It is perfect. And it's Kielbasa is a great San Antonio company. They started here in 1949, and it's total San Antonio when they designed the length of their sausage to fit perfectly in a tortilla. You ever wondered why some sausages are different size? It's because for Kielbasa, they wanted it to fit perfectly in a tortilla. It doesn't get more San Antonio than that. It's football season, so you got to get in the store, get yourself some cold beverages, get yourself some tortillas, and make sure you get some Kielbasa today.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Pulling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Everyone loves shopping online. Well, I'm going to tell you what I tell my golf buddies when they buy clubs. Stop searching for coupon codes. Download Capital One Shopping to your computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Plus, it's free, and you don't even need a Capital One card to use it. That's like hitting a hole-in-one without even trying. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
COVID is spiking again, and it's just not clear how to keep your family safe. Fever is the leading symptom of COVID, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, buy a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 motor oil and save $10 on a pair of wiper blades. It's the perfect autumn deal. Mobil 1 for colder weather, new wipers for the rain, and an extra $10 to buy Halloween candy you'll most likely eat yourself. We're not judging. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations. Does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states. Ends 10/31/21.
Get your college game on. Get ready for the fight songs. It's college football.
Touchdown! What a catch!
Hear it live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know, nobody likes to talk about Jeff Traylor and leaving UTSA, but I do think it's a reality that you have to start understanding, whether you like it or not, because Jeff Traylor is a rock star, and he is a rising star that has brought a lot of attention to UTSA, and he's getting it done on the field as well. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. UTSA is undefeated, but they're still not ranked in the top 25. The only undefeated FBS team that's not in the top 25, and that's all right. It's UTSA. They can go undefeated this year, and you still wonder how high in the poll they would actually get, because at some point they will be ranked in the top 25 if they keep winning the way they are. And Jeff Traylor is getting a lot of national attention. You know, on Monday, I asked him about the number of interview requests he's been getting, because I've been seeing him do all kinds of different interviews. And, you know, and obviously that's time out of his schedule that he has to take, but it does two things. One, it promotes the program. Two, it promotes Jeff Traylor. You want to do those interviews. He was on Jim Rome yesterday. Huge for him to get on a national radio show like that. The Athletic did a piece on Jeff Traylor and UTSA today, and it is a great article on The Athletic. Go read it. Very detailed. I can't imagine how much time Jeff Traylor sat down with this reporter to go through so much of what he went through in the middle of the season. But, I mean, you read this, and there are people reading this that don't know where UTSA is. They don't know how to say it. You know how that goes. I mean, for those of us that follow the program, a lot of it is stuff that you know, but just the detail in this article. But it also talks about Jeff Traylor's career and how he got to UTSA. And as I'm reading it, the goal for Jeff Traylor was to get into college coaching, but also when he had opportunities winning state championships in Gilmer to get into the college ranks. But he says in this article, he was trying to position himself to become a college head coach. And when Charlie Strong got hired at UT, being a full-time assistant and a recruiter at Texas was going to be the springboard for that. When Strong left, he had an opportunity to join Matt Rule's staff at Baylor. He didn't take that. He went up to SMU and then over to Arkansas, interviewed for the Lamar job. But there's one line in there, because we often talk about with Jeff Traylor, the calls are going to come. His name is going to be mentioned. And there's coaches that are constantly talked about for this job or that job, and they say they like where they are, and every coach says that until they're packing their boxes and doing an introductory press conference at the new place, right? But you look at like Matt Campbell says he loves Iowa State. His name gets mentioned all the time, and yet he's still there. Jerry Franklin, same thing, although I think Jerry Franklin's going to end up at USC, because you don't know deep down and truthfully. It's one thing of what they say because they have to say the right thing, but what does Jeff Traylor and his family want? I mean, maybe they love San Antonio, never plan on leaving. But I don't know that that's necessarily the case. There's one line in this article from The Athletic that makes me think that Jeff Traylor is not long for UTSA. He was speaking at the coaches convention over the summer. And he has this quote in this article. As he spoke to the high school coaches in July, Traylor quipped, quote, "You guys have way better jobs than us sitting here, I promise you. If it wasn't for my ego and the money, I'd be right back in Gilmer on that lake again." He was on a panel with all the Division I coaches talking to the high school coaches. But when he talks about ego and money, you understand that guy wants to be a Power 5 head coach. He wants to get to the top of the ladder, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with UTSA right now in Conference USA. Maybe they move up to the American. Who knows where the university is going to be in 15 years, 25 years. It's amazing what they've done in 11. But as it continues to grow, it's going to be one of those good stepping stone type schools. And if you could develop into that, the guy that produces the coaches of the next big time, and you get that pipeline of all the coveted jobs for the hot assistants looking for that next or for that head coaching opportunity, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think as I see that line just jumps off the page, and the calls are going to come for Jeff Traylor. But Jeff Traylor is also in a position to take the right job, not the next one that comes along. And you've got to strike while the iron is hot. It's the nature of the business in college football. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. He will join us next. If you're shopping for a new car this weekend, make sure you get in and see my friends over at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. I can tell you how great Ancira is firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I have bought many vehicles from Ancira because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and their service after the sale is second to none. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Fall baseball and crisp air and that special sound. A crack of the bat in Major League Baseball, the playoff run, and the Fall Classic. The World Series can be heard right here.
Who's going to make that memorable moment that stands the test of time?
Swing and a high fly ball. Right field. On its way out of here.
follow it all right here. Major League Baseball's playoffs and World Series from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
At Manrique Custom Vision, you'll find some people just aren't good candidates for Z-LASIK. That's why they have different technologies for different patients. They are a custom vision center focused on helping people get rid of their glasses and contacts. Rudy J here. Call them today for a complimentary consultation to see what's right for you. Financing is offered to all FSA and medical spending accounts accepted. Get treated like family by Dr. Manrique. Call 354-2020 for the Manrique difference. That's 354-2020.
At Diamonds Direct, we never take you for granted. We understand you always have a choice. That's why this week, we want to take pause to say thank you. It's a yearly tradition our team looks forward to because we love showing you we care. And this commitment to you is why we offer free cleaning, free sizing, free maintenance for life with any purchase. It's also why we created our amazing 110% lifetime upgrade promise. So when you're ready to trade up to that center diamond, that pair of diamond studs, or that diamond solitaire pendant, we will give you 110% of your original purchase price to go toward your new diamond. That's 10% more than you paid us. Value, selection, and customer service are truly what set us apart. This weekend, let us show you our appreciation. Come say hello, take advantage of our unmatched services, and maybe upgrade or trade in your diamond. And go bigger in honor of you, our valued customer. And thank you for allowing Diamonds Direct to be a part of your life's most precious moments, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron. BetOnline.net is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football odds and news this season. Get all the updated info on players, teams, and odds to help you with your new football contests, leagues, and new survivor pools. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports. Pro sports, MMA, championship boxing, golf, horse racing, they have it all. Bring the game home with BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Football Friday. I know head coaches, teams, they have 24-hour rules on big wins. Broadcasters certainly do not.
Aggies 38, Crimson Tide 38, 2 seconds left. 28-yard attempt by Seth Small. Is down, it is up, and the fighting Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide 41-38. Number one goes down. And the celebration is on at Kyle Field.
It certainly is. That is Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, his call last week after the incredible upset win. And Andrew Monaco joins us now. Andrew, imagine it's been a pretty good week for you.
It has been a pretty good week, my friends, certainly. How are you, Jason? You doing well?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I love, especially when you know the broadcaster and you know what they put into their craft. Hearing you on that call just gives me goosebumps because I could feel you coming out of your shoes in that booth up there at the top of College at Kyle Field.
Oh, you're very kind. I have to tell you that my partner Dave Elmendorf, he said it's one of the few times in my life that I've been speechless, and that great Aggie had some tears in his eyes after that. He thought that was the best celebration he's ever seen at Kyle Field. And that's something for someone who played there, and it's 32 years now. Just the way it was, just the way the crowd came out, the 12th man on that field was different from LSU. And he said it was different from in games past. I thought that was really interesting from maybe one of the best Aggies ever to have that opinion.
You know, it's interesting because I thought the celebration was fantastic. I have one friend who used to be in the Corps who, while he loved the celebration, thought, man, you know, Aggie tradition, because it's a memorial, you're not supposed to rush the field. That's like in the rule book. Not that anybody cared on that Saturday night, nor do I think A&M is worried about the fine that they got, because I thought that celebration was incredible.
Yeah, it was. Is warm the right word? I'm trying to come up with the right word, and it was, you know, to me, it's this whole season, and I'm talking about fans being back, and I'm talking about full stadiums once again. And I have loved the atmosphere at Kyle Field all year, starting with the first week, the 20th anniversary of the red, white, and blue out. Add to that being able to be at 100%. I thought that was a wonderful atmosphere. And I've got to say, 2 weeks ago against Mississippi State, Jason, the press box was swaying before the Aggies were introduced. Now, it was the first SEC home game, but it was after the disappointment against Arkansas. And they were there the entire game and tried to make the difference in that fourth quarter. I've never seen Kyle that full all the way to the top. Nick Saban said it was louder than Florida. that's for sure. And that says an awful lot. He talked about the composure for Alabama, and I get it, but he said it was way louder than Florida. It certainly was. They've just been outstanding all year.
It was such an incredible game. And as I think back a week ago about this time, everything we talked about happening in that game, it just played out the way you described. I'm kidding. The idea that everybody thought A&M was going to get crushed, and at least it was a night game and you could win the tailgating, and all of it was there. What was different about the game plan? I mean, I'll ask specifically about Zach Calzada because that looked like a different dude altogether. But what was different in your mind when that game started and A&M realized they could play with Alabama?
The offensive line gelled a little bit from the previous 2 weeks, and the defensive, the two lines of scrimmage won on Saturday against Alabama. Not every snap, but they won their battles. That line did not give up a sack to Zach Calzada. That defensive line put pressure on Bryce Young with the sacks, but also making him make some decisions a little quicker than he had to. That stuck out to me. And then it was also the kind of game, you know, the longer the Aggies stayed in that one, the more problems for Alabama. Alabama did not do to Texas A&M what they've done in the past. Will Johnson had this, and I thought it was a great stat. In the second quarter going into halftime, the Aggies trailed by 3, and by the time they got to halftime, they were down 17 to Alabama. Now, some of that happened in the third quarter, and yes, they took the lead, but normally Alabama demoralizes you. They're just so good, are they not, with the mistakes? And the Aggies answered, Jason, all game. They answered all game. And after the punt block where you're thinking, Bama's going to Bama, and they did. Yeah. The kickoff return by Devon Achane was huge in that one, because that said to Alabama, you know what? The talent gap is shrinking. You did that to us in the past with Ruggs and Waddle and Devontae Smith. We've got one of those guys. And I thought that was a big, big moment, and huge, as it turns out, to get that 14-point cushion again.
Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, joining us here on the Blitz. You just mentioned Will Johnson, your sideline reporter, and I want to credit Will Johnson. I don't know if people understand how hard it is after a game, especially like that, to get a player on the radio in about 12 seconds. And I think that's what it took. Will, before you could actually finish your call, he somehow tracked down Zach Calzada. He got there faster than any Alabama defensive player and got him on the radio. Kudos to that guy. He was the MVP of the night. I can't believe how quickly he got the post-game interview with the star quarterback.
You know, what's really interesting is if you go back to our wins, Will usually arranges those after the victories. He has someone that he is going to get, but you knew there was going to be a crush, right? We weren't worried so much about him getting Zach. It was getting off the field. And you talk about the veteran, he followed Devon Achane off the field. Now, Devon running through 50,000 is different than 11. He never would have been able to stay behind him, but that's how he said he got off the field from Kyle Field. But no, it was the right guy at the right time. After Zach came back, we thought he may not be on that last drive. Blake Boast was the one who was warming up, walked towards the field, and then Calzada comes out. I have to tell you, after the game, someone on the football staff told me this. Johnny Manziel went up to Zach Calzada and said, "Welcome to the club." I think that's like the ultimate compliment right there.
It certainly is. And for Zach Calzada, who has been beaten up by fans and media types, myself included, for him to come out and have the game that he did, what changed for him? What was different when you got a chance to visit with him this week? How did it all come together against Alabama of all teams?
I'm gonna use the phrase that Jimbo uses, Jason. Saddle time. The more time in the saddle, the more comfortable you get. The more times you run with the first team, the more comfortable you get. But I also think it's everything that goes with being a quarterback. And I'm talking about all of it, that you have to be the leader. And when you have Jalen Weidemeyer coming out and saying, he's our guy. Look, he's not the backup any longer. He's the guy. The backup is now Blake Boast. It's not Haynes King. Haynes isn't back. And I think Jimbo saying that Haynes is going to be a while, I think you stop looking over your shoulder and saying, well, when's he going to come back? But I think all of that comes. And you know what? You get too much blame and you get too much credit. Jimbo has always said about the quarterback. But you know all of the responsibilities that go with quarterback. And I think he's getting more and more comfortable with those responsibilities that come with it. And the more times he sees a defense, he's seen Barry Odom's defense in Arkansas, and he's seen Zach Arnett's defense for Mississippi State, and he's going to see the defense of Alabama. He's identifying things more. I think it's more comfort and confidence for him week after week. And look, I think even more impressive, he struggled. And this offense had 10 total yards at one point in the second half and found a way for the tying drive and found a way to the winning drive, just making all the right decisions. It's always been there. But you know, he's not the starter against Kent State. He's not the starter against Colorado. This is just his third start. I just think it's more and more being comfortable and saying, I can do this. When you get that I can moment or moments, I think that just leads to the confidence.
It was incredible. And after the hit he took on that touchdown pass and the courage he showed in the pocket to stand there knowing he was about to get hit, deliver a perfect pass, I thought he was done for the year the way that leg looked. I don't know what they did to him in the tent. I joked on Twitter they must have used that magic soccer spray. Jimbo Fisher actually went into the tent. I don't know what happened in there, but whatever they did, it worked. I mean, that's the stuff legends are made of.
It's he was not going to be denied. Now, what does that say to your teammates? That's what has to rub off right there. Oh, Zach's coming out. Okay, we've got to play for him. And I think you just said it, though. His pocket presence was better on Saturday than it had been in the past. Normally when he would have run or thrown it away, I think the very first touchdown pass he threw to Aniyah Smith, I think I said happy feet because I thought he was trying to get out of that pocket. And I'm mistaken when I say that. He bought himself some time and read what was there in the progression. Did that slow down for him? Possibly, but he found Aniyah. And you know what? Let's be honest. His teammates made some plays for him as well, which is important. You have to be able to do that. But yeah, that moment of to come off that sideline when you think you're injured in a tie game and go deliver the game-winning drive, lead that down the field. That's just incredible.
It was. And now as you shift to the game tomorrow, the last thing you could do is have a letdown after knocking off number 1 Alabama. So what has Jimbo Fisher done this week to make sure what Jeff Traylor at UTSA, his phrase is don't eat the cheese, which is fantastic, right? So what is Jimbo Fisher saying this week to his players about eating the cheese after knocking off number 1 Alabama?
Well, you know him. He always says eliminate the clutter. He calls it poison, right? All the people who were knocking you, now you're going to listen to them telling you how great they are, how great you are. You can't do it. If you're going to eliminate it when it's, when you're struggling, you have to eliminate it when you're doing well, right? All those pats on the back, and that's tough to do. But it's that constant reminder that every Saturday in the SEC, it's the faceless opponent. Jason, it's not about the opponent. It's about the Aggies themselves. You got to win your space, whether you're going up against Alabama or whether tomorrow you're going up against Missouri. That becomes the most important thing. That's what he means by faceless opponent. And I'm going to throw this on you. Now the Aggies are the favorites again And I don't think they've worn that crown very well this season. They have to play as if they are they were great as the underdog last Saturday. Now Missouri can make its season against Texas A&M. Jimbo's called it a trap game, but it was a constant reminder all week at practice that you haven't done the same thing he said after the 2 losses. There's a lot of season left is the same thing. His message is always going to be the same. There's a lot of season left. I just think they're closer to their identity of the defense, of the offensive and the defensive lines having to be dominant, of a team that wants to be balanced on offense and on defense, getting off the field on third downs. And you know what? As our partner always talks about, turnovers were a huge part of that game. They finally got some, which was a great sign.
You know, Missouri's not a good football team, but they're not a bad football team. They're you know, you know what I mean? But they're good at home. They've got a good record at home, 3-1. But for whatever reason, Missouri has had A&M's number. They've won 7 of their last 10 meetings against Texas A&M. So I mean, there is some stats that Jimbo could say to his players about, you know, don't eat the cheese and the poison, all that kind of stuff, because for whatever reason, Missouri has been a problem child for Texas A&M.
Here's where I'm going to put a little asterisk, though. When's the last time they played? This A&M team's not the same A&M team that played in 2014. It's bigger, faster, stronger. They haven't played what I think is a true SEC A&M team. Now, look, will that be the difference? I don't know. It's between the ears as well. But I'm interested to see what Missouri's reaction is going to be when this team takes the field tomorrow, because it's not the same. It's not the same A&M team that played the first 3 years in the SEC. I'm with you though on Missouri. Really good offense, spread the ball around. Bazelak is a good quarterback. The running back, Beatty, might be even better. I mean, they offensively, and Jimbo talked about Eli Drinkwitz. They went up against one another when Eli was at NC State. So he knows that he's got that offense. Now, can they run the ball? That's where Missouri really struggles, stopping the run. And the Aggies, can they get some big games from Isaiah Spiller and from Devon Achane? That would go a long way to that balance and the ball control that this team likes to play with.
Absolutely. And it's an early start too. Does Jimbo like early start times on road games?
Yeah, business trip. Yep.
Yeah.
Get up, let's play, let's get home. Oh, wait a second. I just described my partner, Dave Elmendorf.
Oh, yeah, I described Andrew Monaco as well. You know, he'll be home in time for dinner.
I didn't want to say it. Yeah, absolutely. No, but, you know, honestly, it's a business trip. You play when they tell you to play. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. But, look, you come here and you've got a job to do. Let's go do it. It's supposed to be great weather. We're going to be in the 40s when we start and the 60s when we finish. It should be something special.
Did you say the 40s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. We haven't seen the 40s. When's the last time we've seen the 40s?
Man, it's been a while.
It's got to be February, right? When we were complaining about the ice, right? We said we'd never complain. It was refreshing going out today.
I think in February you would have paid money for the 40s. I mean, that would have been like a heat wave.
I'd have killed for a 40. I'm telling you, right then. And my pipes would have been happy for me also.
Absolutely. 40s, man. It almost feels. I know it's October. It even, you know, like tomorrow the weather is going to be great, you know, for tailgating. The high school football, we had a little rain earlier, but it looks like it's going to clear off. You know, kind of starting to feel like football weather. But 40 to me, that's too damn cold, Andrew.
I love your priorities of saying tailgating. I like how you said that first. Yeah, no, 40s in the morning, and then there's going to be some sun in the 60s and no rain. There's going to be perfect football weather. I think Dave might put the 36 jersey back on and play. He loves this kind of weather.
Well, good for Dave, man, and congrats on last week. I know it's been a fun week for you, hearing that call everywhere. Now you just got to make sure, tell Jimbo you can't have a letdown. You know, just Coach Monaco, go in there, give the pregame speech, and have fun up there in Missouri.
He's probably going to tell me. That's going to be the last thing he's going to tell me before I get in the booth. Faceless opponent, Monaco. Remember that. Be good. You got to be good again.
That's it. One play at a time. One play at a time. Just keep it going.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Andrew Monaco, enjoy your night out and your early morning wake up call, and then you'll be home before you know it, man. Have a good call tomorrow. We'll talk to you next week.
Great talking with you, my friend. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. And again, you look at Missouri, they're not bad, but they're not good. And what concerns me is if they play like they did against Colorado, Colorado, not good. They got that win. I just, the letdown, that would be my concern if I'm an Aggie fan. As a Longhorn fan, my concern is, does one loss turn into two? You look at Texas tomorrow morning after what happened to them last week against the Oklahoma Sooners, a game they were well control of, looked like the better team for one half. I don't know. At halftime, did they go get some fried Oreos and Fletcher dogs and thought that they couldn't lose? And the way they lost. And what angered me about watching that game defensively, the lack of effort on those late touchdown runs by Oklahoma. Oklahoma wasn't trying to score touchdowns there. They were trying to get into field goal range. And Texas just let them go score. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Sark is able to rally his team this week to motivate them to get up for an Oklahoma State team that you look at them and you look at their record and you go, all right, but you watch them play and you go, well, they're not as good as some of the Mike Gundy teams of the past, but this could be a tough one for the Longhorns if mentally they aren't in the right space. I mean, this is where you've got to see how Casey Thompson is able to bounce back after a tough outing, and that offensive line open up holes for Bijan Robinson. I mean, you think about how well Bijan ran early in the game. Oklahoma made some adjustments and he couldn't run. And, if the passing game doesn't open things up for the run game, it could end up being a long day for UT. I saw Sark said he was going to have a ton of recruits on campus, and so, they need to put on a good show if it's one of those big recruiting days. They're all big recruiting days, but for whatever reason, this one seems to be a little bit bigger. And again, with an early game, if you've got recruits coming in, you go to a game and at 11, and then you got the rest of the afternoon and the evening to show them what UT can be like for those recruits. You definitely want to show those recruits the good time you have after a win.
And it's a huge recruiting day because one Arch Manning will be on campus for that game.
Is Arch actually going to show up to this game?
Arch is showing up.
I know. I mean,
official visit.
Are you kidding? There's more news about Arch Manning coming to Austin than when the Pope comes to town. I mean, they're going to have a little Archmobile that they're going to be rolling around in. I mean, you've got one chance, Sark. The fact that you're getting him to come to this game, and he's got his tours and everything that's going on. But yeah, Austin is treating this as if the Pope is coming to town. And yeah, I'm curious, if you're Casey Thompson, how do you feel about this?
Well, he's gone in 2 years anyway.
Regardless, yeah, I know he's gone in 2 years, but the reality is, the guy that isn't there is going to get more love than the guy that is there. You know what I mean? I mean, Arch Manning could make more money on NIL deals right now than anybody else in college football.
Yeah,
I mean, when he gets his. What I do find interesting, though, is all the guys with the big NIL deals first, they're all having crap years. I mean, you look at like De'Aaron King, Spencer Rattler. Who's the other one that got all that money early?
Quinn Ewers and Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, number one quarterback, loses to A&M. I mean, you look at it, you wonder how that effect is going to be on NIL deals, because one thing that you can't do is have any performance-based incentives in those NIL deals. You get all that money whether you play well or not, and you can't get more if you play better. That's part of the NIL rules that are kind of interesting, but I wonder if that will have an impact on how companies look at how they're going to do some of their sponsorship deals, especially the big money sponsorship deals. Because you look at a guy like Spencer Rattler. Has Lincoln Riley officially said that he won't be the starting quarterback yet?
No, but we all expect it.
I mean, look, we all know You don't give your starting quarterback Monday off. In the history of football, your starting quarterback does not get Monday off. And the comments that Spencer Rattler's dad said certainly indicate that his kid has lost his starting job. But also, you look at the way that Oklahoma team responded to Caleb. They like him more. It's very similar to what you saw with UT with Hudson Card and Casey Thompson. And that goes a long way in determining your starting quarterback. So Spencer Rattler, who can hit the transfer portal and go somewhere, he could go to the NFL, and he's still going to make a ton of money, still a good quarterback, but for whatever reason, it just ain't working out for him in Oklahoma. And, by a lot of accounts, some of it's likability. I don't know if his teammates like him as much. He's got some qualities that tend to rub people the wrong way. It's kind of interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Oklahoma in prime time tomorrow night with a 7:30 game. Going to be a good Saturday of college football. Got some 11 a.m. games. Then I'm going to go tailgate out at UTSA and then be home in time to watch Arizona State play Utah. Going to be a good Saturday of college football. Then Sunday, Cowboys and Patriots. Let's talk about it with John Machota from The Athletic. He joins us next. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. And Sam has plenty of inventory in stock. A lot of places can't say that. Sammy can. He has your polos. He has your T-shirts. He has your hats in stock. In fact, he has the largest selection of caps, including the popular Richardson style cap. So if you need 1 item, 10 items, 10,000 items, go see Sam over at Sammy's Embroidery Club. And it's not just embroidery. He can do silkscreen shirts for any occasion as well. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. He has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with 1-day turnaround. No order too big, certainly no order too small. Go to the website, samsembroidery.com, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club. We'll talk Cowboys with John Machota after James Pleasure gives us a SportsCenter update.
Thanks, Jason. We'll start off in Major League Baseball as the Houston Astros open up the ALCS tonight as they take on the Boston Red Sox. Houston will be without ace Lance McCullers for the entire series as he's dealing with forearm strain. Taking his place on the ALC roster will be starting pitcher Jake Odorizzi. First pitch between the Astros and Red Sox for Game 1 from Minute Maid Park is set for 7:07 tonight as Framber Valdez will get the start for Houston while Boston sends Chris Sale to the mound. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs put a wrap on the preseason tonight as the 2-2 Spurs welcome the 1-2 Houston Rockets into the AT&T Center with tip-off for that game set for 7:30. In college football, at 11 o'clock in the morning, the 25th-ranked Longhorns will take on the 12th-ranked and undefeated Oklahoma State Cowboys. The 21st-ranked Texas A&M Aggies look to continue their momentum from the win over Alabama as they take on the Tigers in Missouri. And the Incarnate Word Cardinals go for their 5th straight win as they take on Nicholls State here in San Antonio with kickoff set for 11 as well. The 6-0 UTSA Roadrunners look to remain unbeaten as they welcome 2-3 Rice into the Alamo Dome with kick for that game set for 5 o'clock. I'm James Pleasure for San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Diamonds Direct, we never take you for granted. We understand you always have a choice. That's why this week, we want to take pause to say thank you. It's a yearly tradition our team looks forward to because we love showing you we care. And this commitment to you is why we offer free cleaning, free sizing, free maintenance for life with any purchase. It's also why we created our amazing 110% lifetime upgrade promise. So when you're ready to trade up to that center diamond, that pair of diamond studs, or that diamond solitaire pendant, we will give you 110% of your original purchase price to go toward your new diamond. That's 10% more than you paid us. Value, selection, and customer service are truly what set us apart. This weekend, let us show you our appreciation. Come say hello, take advantage of our unmatched services, and maybe upgrade or trade in your diamond. And go bigger in honor of you, our valued customer. And thank you for allowing Diamonds Direct to be a part of your life's most precious moments, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps.com and use offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-491-8606. That's 800-491-8606. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-491-8606 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Just win, baby. Dallas Cowboys football exclusively on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Cowboys on the road Sunday to take on the New England Patriots. Let's talk about it here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I'm Jay Jimenez. Let's talk to John Machota from The Athletic as he joins us now, as he does every Friday about this time. John, I look at this game, and I've said all week, this one's got me a little bit nervous because things are going too well right now for the Dallas Cowboys, and historically they lose a game they have no business losing. And I kind of think back to the Jets game a couple years ago, and this one just kind of has that feel to it. Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah, I wouldn't compare it to that game. I just think that this team is on a different level. I think that team was kind of, it was almost like they weren't going to go any further than what they did. Like 14 and 16 was as far as they were going to get. I know 18 they won a playoff game and then but it just was like something different was needed. And I just feel like there's a new spark with this team. And while it's a new coaching staff's a huge part of that, it's also guys like adding CD Lamb. Then adding Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. They're just, I don't know. I don't compare it. And then also a lot of the key players at that time are all a lot more grown up now and even bigger parts of this offense. So I don't necessarily see the comparison with that game as much as it just the fact of it's Bill Belichick and New England Patriots defense. It's not going to be a walk in the park. I know that they're not as good of a team as they were when they were winning Super Bowls, but it's still Bill Belichick and a Bill Belichick defense. He's going to have a lot of things out there that Dak probably hasn't seen from other teams.
Well, and I look at it, and I wasn't necessarily meaning like that Jets game but just losing a game you have no business losing, because the Cowboys should go on the road and beat New England. But it's Bill Belichick, and I'm trying to figure out how Davis Mills of the Houston Texans threw for over 300 yards against that Patriots defense last week. It was almost as if, Bill Belichick took the week off after spending so much time game planning against Tom Brady that the Houston Texans gave them fits. Davis Mills gave them fits. You know what I mean?
No, and that's a possibility. And if I had to kind of predict how I think the game's going to go, I do think that what it'll be is a big game for Dak Prescott. Like, I do think Bill Belichick is going to take away the run game, because that's not only because that's what it's working for the Cowboys right now, but that has been, if you run the ball well, you're going to win the game. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, for the most part, I guess if you don't turn the ball over too, that's a key part in there. But if you keep running the ball the way the Cowboys have these last 4 weeks, they're gonna beat you. And so Bill Belichick is going to take that away. I really feel that. And they're not a great run defense this year. They're kind of middle of the pack. So the Cowboys might still have success running football, but that's what Bill Belichick's been known for forever. I mean, that's literally one of the things I'm writing about for tomorrow, and kind of like my weekly wrap-up thing that I do every Saturday is just about, I go back to like 2019. I remember Romo saying in one of an interview down here on one of the local sports talk stations about just how great Belichick is at taking something away from you that it's like you can't compare it to anybody else in the NFL now or ever, at just how much success he's had at that. And so I think of it being like, okay, he's going to take that away. The part though that gets me thinking like, yeah, but that still shouldn't matter is, but if it gets into like a high scoring game, like, do you really expect Mac Jones to be able to put up these big numbers to like keep them in a game? Because I don't. And so I do think that this Cowboys team is just far more balanced than probably they've been in the last decade. And I think that's going to be a big part of why they're ultimately going to have success. But because Bill Belichick is over there, that's the only reason why that you shouldn't sit there and go, oh man, the spread's only 4. I'm about to put the house on this.
Exactly. And that's what makes you a little bit nervous about it. And again, he's going to take away the thing you do best. That's the run. Good news for the Cowboys. They've got so many weapons on the offense that, all right, take away the run. We can throw it all over the place. I found it interesting that Bill Belichick brought up the fact that the Cowboys tight end is the team leader in reception. So I also have a feeling that the tight end might not be wide open this week, because clearly that's something that jumped off the page to Bill Belichick for him to bring that up.
Sure, and that has been the safety net for Dak Prescott, and he's built up a lot of trust in Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is improved as much as anybody on the Cowboys roster from the beginning of last season to this season, and I say that in full well knowing that Terrence Steele has played excellent, but Dalton Schultz has just exceeded expectations of what they were last year at this time, and he's become a really good all-around tight end, and Dak trusts him immensely, and that's why his numbers are what they are through these first 5 games. And so, yeah, no, that could be something else that Belichick is focused on. The one thing, though, is that if he does try and take that away, when they played up there a couple years ago, obviously the weather was crummy. It was raining. That fed into their defensive game plan. But, one of the big takeaways that Amari Cooper had, no impact on that game, it's because they basically put Stephon Gilmore on him, and Stephon Gilmore had a great game. Well, obviously Stephon Gilmore isn't there anymore. So, they have J.C. Jackson. They have some good defensive backs, but I don't know that they're going to completely shut down Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. And even Cedric Wilson has been a guy that's been able to make some big plays. So I can see him taking some things away. I just don't think he can take everything away.
It's going to be interesting for sure. John Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz. You mentioned Terrence Steele. The offensive line obviously is going to have to play well on Sunday. I think that goes without saying, but a lot of that's going to depend on Tyron Smith. Had the MRI. Dr. Jerry says he's going to be okay. Mike McCarthy said his level of concern wasn't all that great. That's what he told our morning show this morning, but what's the concern level like, really, when it comes to Tyron Smith and that neck?
Well, there's going to always be concern with anything with a player that has had previous neck and back issues, because those are just generally issues that don't go away. They don't go away. And I feel like, and I'm not an expert on this, but I don't feel like people that have had extensive neck and back surgeries in their everyday life, I find it hard to believe that they have these surgeries and then they're just fine after that. I feel like there's always going to be something. And then I think that gets ratcheted up quite a bit when you're talking about an NFL football player. So yep. I don't think that it was ever. There were some red flags with Tyron when he was coming out of college. So I don't think that that's ever going to be completely gone. You're always going to have that. I think it's all about managing it so it doesn't get to a level to where he can't play, that he's still functional. I just don't think that you're ever going to completely, as long as he plays in, the rest of his career in the NFL, that it's always going to be some type of an issue. And because of that being the background, now I don't know this for sure. This is just what I believe. I think because his background in having those issues is why they went for the MRI. Because if you remember, when they did the precautionary MRI, once that got back here after they left training camp out in Oxnard, that was like a big national story. Like, why would they be doing that MRI unless he didn't have some type of a setback? Well, no, it was just precautionary. And as you can tell, if you watch any of the game, there certainly was no setback, but that was like this big thing to be concerned about. From what the Cowboys said today, they said that I'm trying to think of the word they used. Oh, it was the results were favorable. And here's the other part too is this is obviously a huge game, but they have a bye week coming up. And so if it's something where they thought, well, we just need to rest this thing, then why would you even play Tyron Smith in this game? But from everything I've heard, it certainly seems like he's going to play.
And the I guess positive, you get through this week, and then you'll get La'el Collins back, after the bye week, and you do get a little bit of a rest here. But certainly concerning anytime you're talking about Tyron Smith and his neck. And Diggs is apparently a game-time decision with an ankle, but as mentioned, Dr. Jerry said today on the radio that he's going to be good to go.
Dr. Jerry does clear this stuff up. My favorite part of covering this team is when this stuff happens, like minutes after we get done talking to like Mike McCarthy, and he's like, he's the head coach. It's just like any head coach. I mean, how many head coaches go up to the podium and just start, don't worry about those injuries. These guys are playing, like all coaches are naturally a little bit conservative when it comes to injuries, but Jerry goes on the radio and Jerry turns into salesman mode where he's like, no, I want everybody to be pumped up that, we got our best guys, we're riding the wave right now. We're 4-1. Everybody's going to be out there. So you kind of are like, it's probably somewhere in the middle here. The one thing I'll say about Trayvon Diggs is that, he had some injury issues last year that he missed a few games, but he's played through a lot. And so, especially the streak he's on in that, as long as there's no chance of, making the ankle worse structurally or anything, if he plays, he'll be out there, especially again, with the bye week coming up after this. I can't imagine him not playing unless, like I said, that they look at it and they're like, no, this is something that if you play on it, it could get a lot worse. But I don't get the sense that that's the issue here. So I expect him to be playing in this game.
He's done a lot of matchup work, following the other team's best wide receiver. Who's he gonna travel with on Sunday against New England?
That is a great question because the NFL nowadays, I feel like almost every team has at least one guy that you're like, this guy. I guess Jacoby Myers. I think. I don't know. I don't know 100%. I think that would probably be the guy. They spend all that money in the off season on those tight ends, and they haven't really done a ton yet. Obviously, I think it'd be a lot different if Tom Brady was still the quarterback there. You'd know right now who like the favorite receiver is or two, and I don't get that sense with this team right now. And so because of that, I think that it'll be one of those things where Trayvon Diggs starts out on just whatever receiver that they think at the beginning of the game is their biggest concern. And then I think whoever starts getting going in the game, maybe Mac Jones gets in a rhythm with someone, then that's when they move Trayvon Diggs over to that player. But just right now, looking at the team, I just don't see that one receiver that really stands out. Like I feel like most of the good teams that they're going to play this year have a guy, if not two or three guys like that.
And I know Diggs would love to get an interception off that old Alabama quarterback in Mac Jones. I'm curious how New England is going to protect them because I know they had some issues on the offensive line with COVID and some injuries. How much is that defensive front salivating to get after the rookie?
Oh, absolutely. That's another one. I mean, they're banged up front too. That's the thing on these injury reports. A lot of times, I cover the Cowboys, so I'm mainly putting out the Cowboys stuff. But it's like, especially you're already, 5 weeks into the season, like all teams are dealing with some guys that are dealing with some type of issue, if not completely missing the game completely. So the Patriots are certainly going to be missing some guys up front, but even if they weren't, I mean, anytime you have a rookie quarterback like that, you're going to want to bring pressure. And I'm sure that that's what Dan Quinn has on his mind right now. The big thing with them that they do more than other teams, at least from what the Cowboys have told us this week, is that they'll cut you more at the knees, do a lot more chop blocks and things like that. And they've been working on that this week. To the point where Dan Quinn actually had a helmet on and was working on it with the defensive linemen. And so That's one thing that, they're going to, again, like a Bill Belichick thing, they're going to have certain things they're going to try to do that maybe the Cowboys haven't seen on tape all season. So there will be that, but I think the Cowboys have done a great job this year of mixing it up. Like, for so long watching this team, that pressure came from those 4 down linemen, and not that you knew exactly where it was coming from, but you had at least had a good idea. With this team, I feel like they just mix and match, and some of Randy Gregory's best rushes this year, I feel like have come on stunts with Micah Parsons, as opposed to just, hey, Randy, use your speed on that right end and just get around and cause some problems there. He can do that, but I feel like coming around up through the middle has actually been where he's had more success, and so Randy Gregory is certainly a guy in this game to keep an eye on, because I think he could have some success because of the fact that, the sacks are the things we're drawn to, but he's been drawing a lot of pressures and he's been drawing a lot of holding calls. I feel like he's due for another one of those games where he has a couple sacks, and this certainly could be that game.
And again, when people talk about sack numbers and I look at pressures and I look at holding penalties, the guy's in there getting his work done. It's going to be an interesting game. Sunday afternoon, Cowboys, Patriots. John Machota, always appreciate the time, my friend.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it. Make sure you're following John on Twitter. Subscribe and read his stuff there on The Athletic, because the info is outstanding when it comes to Cowboys coverage. Mike McCarthy was on with Rob and Rudy this morning, as he is every Friday, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We'll play that interview for you coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll talk some college football and some Championship Series baseball as the Astros and Red Sox get ready to get underway tonight in Game 1 of the ALCS. First, let me tell you about Garageization. I moved to my new house January 2020. Garage in the new house not near as big as what I had in the old house. So I needed an organization solution because, I'm parking both my cars in the garage. Found one in a company called Garageization. And, what I loved about what they did is they came out, they discussed all the options they have, what I wanted to spend, and they came up with a solution. And ultimately, I had these shelves that were installed that are perfect for your long-term storage. Put a shelf above the beer fridge, so I'm taking advantage of that space in the garage. And they've got adjustable bars underneath with hooks and whatnot, so you can hang stuff underneath the shelves as well. So you're utilizing all that space. If you need to organize your garage, call Garageization at 210-664-4494. Ask them about their shelves, their overhead racks, closed storage, and slat walls. Make your garage functional for the entire family. Don't forget about your floor. Get that garage floor sealed for more reasons, just to make it look good. Since 2008, the veteran-owned Garageization has been helping San Antonians love their garage. Call them. Have them give you a customized plan for your garage where you can park both your cars in there with the kids' bikes and everything else. Learn more at GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com. That's the website to go to for Garageization. GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com.
For $1,000 now, enter the winning keyword, SCARE. SCARE. SCARE at SASportsStar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If your dream vacation doesn't include your spouse, it may be time for a permanent getaway. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Pulling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Kane Brown, Blessed and Free Tour. Saturday, October 16th, AT&T Center. Special guests, Jordan Davis and Restless Road. See the meteoric rise of Kane Brown live. Tickets are on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron. BetOnline.net is your number one spot for all the pro and college football odds and news this season. Get all the updated info on players, teams, and odds to help you with your new football contests, leagues, and new survivor pools. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports. Pro sports, MMA, championship boxing, golf, horse racing, they have it all. Bring the game home with BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you looking for a job where you can have tons of fun and make great money? Twin Peaks is the team for you. We're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK 4TP to 85000 to apply. That's WORK, the number 4TP to 85000 to apply.
At Manrique Custom Vision, you'll find some people just aren't good candidates for Z-LASIK. That's why they have different technologies for different patients. They are a custom vision center focused on helping people get rid of their glasses and contacts. Rudy J here. Call them today for a complimentary consultation to see what's right for you. Financing is offered to all FSA and medical spending accounts accepted. Get treated like family by Dr. Manrique. Call 354-2020 for the Manrique difference. That's 354-2020.
The Soaring Dunks, knocking down the threes and in-your-face poster rejections. Preseason basketball is back. We've got the latest news, analysis, inside word, and more on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Carl Schoening on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jay Jimenez. Glad to have you along on a football Friday. You know, I went over to Ancira Nissan earlier today because they've got the Heisman Trophy there in their lobby. You know, it's part of that Nissan Heisman House promotion they have. So, you know, I guess, Nissan as a corporation will do that for certain dealerships that are doing well, that, you know, they'll send stuff like, I don't know, the Heisman Trophy, where you can go over there and take a picture with it. And it's cool when you get to do that, whether you're talking about, you know, the Stanley Cup, which is the most recognizable and coolest trophy in sports. But when you see them, you go do it. You know, it's funny. Outside of like when you're at a college and they've got them on display, I've never held the Heisman before. I don't know that I've ever actually seen one that wasn't behind glass somewhere. You know, like when you go up to UT, you can see Rickies or Earls, you know, that kind of stuff. That thing's heavy. But Cisco, sitting here in the booth with us at Comalander Stadium, said that a small trophy shop in Oklahoma makes the Heisman. Who knew? I mean, you know, when you wonder how that gets started. And now I wonder if there's some sort of conspiracy because, you know, the Heisman Trophy is made in Oklahoma, and for whatever reason, they got a lot of the Heisman winners there at OU. See, now I think there's some BS going on with the New York Athletic Club that, like, every fourth year it has to go to a Sooner because they don't want to pay shipping charges or something. You laugh, that thing's in the case that the Heisman Trophy, you know, comes in. You know, we've all seen the Stanley Cup. You know, they got a guy that travels around with it. You know, you talk about what interesting job in life that guy has. But, all these trophies and the cases they come in. But yeah, man, shipping's expensive. But I did not know that the Heisman was made in a little, what town in Oklahoma? Del City, wherever the hell that is in Oklahoma. Is it near Oklahoma City? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, at least they didn't say like Comanche, because then you'd really wonder about the quality of the work on that trophy. Trust me, I got family in that area. Interesting stuff. Hey, we've got some WWE tickets to give away. WWE, apparently John Cena at the AT&T Center, early part of December. If you want to go to see wrestling, just be caller number 12 right now. 656-ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. Caller number 12, you're going to win tickets to go to the WWE SmackDown on December 3rd down at the AT&T Center. As we get ready to get into the 6 o'clock hour, as we get closer to our Hill Electric High School game of the week, over on our brother station, AM 550 KTSA, they're having the 14th annual Raul Jimenez Radiothon. It's going on right now. And the history of the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner in San Antonio. For 42 years, they put on this incredible Thanksgiving dinner. But last year, because of COVID, it became delivery. This year, it's also going to be delivery. So when you think about what they are trying to do there with the Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner, they are going to prepare and deliver 12,500 meals for people in need on Thanksgiving, because everybody deserves a great Thanksgiving dinner, and that is what the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner has done for 42 years. Imagine the cost of delivering at 12,500 meals. Every year, they raise a lot of money to put the dinner on. They need even more when you talk about delivery. Give what you can. $5, $20, $100. $5 feeds to a Thanksgiving dinner. So, do the math there as you want to help and do stuff. You can make a donation at sasportstar.com or go to ktsa.com and help out as the Radiothon ends at 7 o'clock tonight. But the need certainly is there. And I know it's October. You might not be thinking Thanksgiving yet, but obviously a lot of preparation is going into it. And think about the need to deliver 12,500 meals. You got $10, you got $20. Go make a donation at sasportstar.com or at ktsa.com. The Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving Radiothon presented by Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, Wagner Holick Custom Homes, North Park Toyota of San Antonio. Go there, make a donation, help out as you think about the need to feed 12,500 people a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner. And hopefully soon they'll be able to have that in person again back at the convention center. If you've ever gone to that, volunteered, been a part of it, you understand what a great event it really is. Speaking of eating, you're going to fire up the grill this weekend. You need to get into Tri-County Meat Market, one of their 2 locations, because that great meal starts with great meat, and you're not going to find anything better than what you're going to get at Tri-County Meat Market. They even have their own homegrown Wagyu. You talk about farm to fork Wagyu. They've teamed up with Dean and Pillar Premium Meats out of Floresville for more locally sourced meats. So whether you're looking for beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. You're tailgating tomorrow at the UTSA game. Stop in there and stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. And if you're military or first responder, you're going to get a 10% discount. Tri-County Meat Market has 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or go check out their website, tricountymeat.com.
Do you have what it takes to rock the mic?
Hey, this is RJ Ochoa.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague.
Hey, San Antonio, it's Thomas Mott.
Slacker Sports Bar presents Rock the Mic. Now is the time to submit your 1 minute or less sports take video clip at sasportstar.com. From there, we narrow down to the top 12 finalists with 4 rounds of live in-person auditions. Who will be the 2021 Rock the Mic champ? It could be you. Rock the Mic presented by Slacker Sports Bar and in part by Beam Suntory.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
At Diamonds Direct, we never take you for granted. We understand you always have a choice. That's why this week, we want to take pause to say thank you. It's a yearly tradition our team looks forward to because we love showing you we care. And this commitment to you is why we offer free cleaning, free sizing, free maintenance for life with any purchase. It's also why we created our amazing 110% lifetime upgrade promise. So when you're ready to trade up to that center diamond, that pair of diamond studs, or that diamond solitaire pendant, we will give you 110% of your original purchase price to go toward your new diamond. And that's 10% more than you paid us. Value, selection, and customer service are truly what set us apart. This weekend, let us show you our appreciation. Come say hello, take advantage of our unmatched services, and maybe upgrade or trade in your diamond. And go bigger in honor of you, our valued customer. And thank you for allowing Diamonds Direct to be a part of your life's most precious moments, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're at Comalander Stadium, our Hill Electric High School game of the week coming up. Pregame at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a great football weekend. The Cowboys play Sunday afternoon against the New England Patriots. That game is going to be on CBS. That's important because you got to know where to go find it. And if you're a Dish Network, you're screwed because apparently Dish is still in a pissing match with Ken's TV here locally. So you're going to have to find an alternate spot to go watch the game or change your cable company pretty quick because, you know, don't wait till Sunday at 3 o'clock and then realize you can't watch the game if you're a Dish Network customer. Rob Thompson, I am talking to you. Speaking of Rob, Mike McCarthy, head coach of them Dallas Cowboys, was on with Rob and Rudy this morning, R&R in the morning, as he is every Friday, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And this week, Rob remembered to get the tacos delivered to Mike McCarthy, and McCarthy was extremely happy about seeing those tacos this morning.
Well, I'm just sitting there getting ready to rock and roll with them. I mean, this is the best way to start your day with some big red tacos and hanging out with you two guys.
There we go. Breakfast with R&R in the morning. I understand from Jonathan he was going to switch things up this morning. He was going to bring some burritos, kind of stretch his culinary flair. How's it look?
I haven't seen them yet. I heard they've arrived.
Well, he was excited to bring them to you, Coach.
Just told me they're here. So
well, we're glad you got them. Let's dive into the Fast and Furious Friday. That is the Friday before a big game. When you play the Patriots, you're getting on the road, getting away from home a little bit, and you're going against the legend that is Belichick. Certainly, the coaching comparisons and the competition are going to be underlying there. When you go against a team like New England and a coach like Belichick, how much do you focus on them, and then how much do you balance that with focusing on yourself? The old Sun Tzu thing about knowing yourself as well as your enemy.
Yeah, it's excuse me. It's something that you really focus on each and every week, and your weeks kind of go through the same process where you're early in the week you're focusing on the personnel, and then Wednesday and Thursday you're really focusing on the scheme, the situations that you're going to encounter, and then when you get to Friday, you kind of circle around, and then you really dive into exactly what you're going to do. So that's a normal timeline for how we operate, how we game plan. So that is no different this week.
You look at the tape and you see your own particular tells, your foibles, your giveaways. Do you begin to use that in the grand chess game against a coach that you know will pick the scab, that will find the same weakness that you're looking at for yourself? Do you plan ahead for that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's part of the game of football. That's our job as coaches. And I feel like our players, compared to last year, are doing a tremendous job taking advantage of the video resources that we've made available, and then particularly on the South Scott. And I think it's all part of the normal growing stages of an NFL player. I mean, you focus so much time on technique and scheme and things you need to do, but the most important videos of yourself. And that's something that I've preached since I arrived here, and I feel like our players are doing a great job focusing on that.
Coach, what can you tell us about Tyron Smith? Is he going to be okay? What is there anything that you can't give us?
No, I think we're going to be fine there. We'll see how he feels when he comes in today. But it was not of high concern, but it was something definitely we had to we have to make sure we stay on top of.
Coach, what is in those little first down pylon thingy majiggies, and what's in it that can make
that hurt Zeke?
Yeah, that hurt Zeke. What's going on, and do you like the the idea of the first down camera? Like, what's your take on it, and what's inside of that thing?
I mean, I like the fact that they're utilizing technology to better enhance ball placement spots and all that. But I mean, it's definitely something that needs to be talked about, because having the opportunity to stand over Zeke, we're lucky we didn't lose Zeke here. I mean, it's
right.
That could have been a freak injury that we'd all be kicking ourselves over. So, but yeah, it's not as light as it looks. I'll just tell you that.
Crazy looking scenario, man. And what do you do? Is there a complaint form that you have to fill out for the NFL, that you have to fill up in triplicate and make sure they get it to the right booth to look at something like that? Because obviously, if it can happen once, it'll happen again.
Well, I mean, there's a process that goes on, everything that goes on the field on game days. There's football operations.
That's Coach saying, I don't know. That's Coach saying somebody else filed the complaint. I don't know how to get it done.
I'm going to let someone else take care of that, but it's something definitely we're looking at, I can promise you.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. He does so every week. He's brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Coach, the cavalcade of young quarterbacks continues this week. You've gotten a chance to see a variety of different styles, but all good. Talk about the quality of quarterback in the NFL right now. It just seems like the youth is being served, and every week you're getting a different skill set, but all above what I think we are accustomed to seeing for young quarterbacks. And talk about Mac Jones in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's something that goes on, particularly in waves, more years than others. I think Mac is clearly probably the most accomplished coming out of college. I had a chance to watch him Alabama versus Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, and he has excellent command of the offense, and I think that today's quarterback, particularly in the space game, and throwing the ball and all the other things that you see more of in college, are coming in prepared, and he looks like he's handling the multiple defensive challenges that have been thrown at him so far. So I admire the young guys that are coming in and have to play in their first year, because I mean, if you ever play with a rookie quarterback, it's difficult. It's a challenge not only for the quarterback and the offense, but it's also a challenge for the whole football team. And this team here in New England, they're built the right way: defense, special teams, and and the quarterback's doing a really good job, with their style of offense.
Coach, do you guys, as head coaches, assistant coaches, do you roll your eyes when the media or fans call it a trap game? Do coaches even say that term, trap game, or is it just every game you go out and prepare? Is that just a media thing?
I've seen that. I've been in rooms where it's been talked about. I don't really believe in that. I think if you think that way, that you're really opening yourself up for those that type of situation. I mean, this league is so difficult to win and every week, regardless of who you're playing, and the health and the matchups that go into each game and the amount of preparation that goes into each game. You have to look at every one of these games, especially on the road. I mean, road games this is a difficult place to play, let alone win games. So, those are the things that I always focus on.
Is there anything peculiar about the stadium itself that when you go to New England, that this is what we need to expect? We know the fans are going to be nuts, but that's a lot of places. Is there anything like on the field, wind conditions that that when you walk into that stadium, expect this, be ready for this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you have a game plan on that's part of your final preparation, and I'll go through that Sunday night with the team. Exactly what the weather, the wind. We talk about the surface, and you talk about all those things, all those types of things each and every week.
What's peculiar about your home field? Is it the sun in the third?
Home field?
Is it? Yeah. What do you know about your home field that other teams need to be aware of? Is it the sun in the third quarter? That kind of stuff.
What are you working for the Patriots?
No, exactly. I'm curious because one of the things, Coach.
Put that out there. No, there's no sun issues at AT&T.
No, not at all. No, that's why we leave the curtains open.
Even ask that question.
Get him, Coach.
Because, Coach, I'll tell you the theme over the last week or so, Coach. The theme about your leadership with the Cowboys has been the remarkable resurgence of self-scouting, of knowing who you are and understanding how you fit into the scheme of how you're going to beat teams. And I think that was woefully missing in the past. And with the addressing of what we're doing now, it really feels like we know ourselves better than you could possibly know us. And because we know that, we can figure things out about you. And one of that is about your home field stuff and your approach to that. So forgive me for trying to draw some things out, but I do think that there's been a focus on things that, quite frankly, have not been that important in the past.
Well, I appreciate the intent of energy, but we don't want to talk about these things on the radio.
Yeah, we
get together and have some Big Red and talk.
That's all we're doing right now, Coach.
Coach Amari Cooper. Hey, Coach, Amari Cooper said the SB word. Last week. When we start having a season like this, you start thinking about Super Bowl. As with you, I know. Before the season started, you said, look, we're not trying to win, a game or two here, trying to win a playoff game. The goal is Super Bowl. So is it taboo? Like some people, you just go, game by game. Is that encouraged in your locker room to, hey, you know what, let's talk about it. Let's speak it into existence when we're talking about, winning a championship.
Well, what we encourage is real confidence in the reality of what it takes to reach that ultimate goal. I mean, I always felt, and shared this with the team. You answer those questions honestly. We've made it clear what our goals are at the beginning of training camp, but it's a long road. It's a long ways away, and you don't want to take your focus off of that because you literally want to pour everything you do in each and every week. So I don't think it's necessary to talk about it right now because we've already talked about it. We all understand and we clearly accept the challenge of it, and I love the commitment of our players. I mean, our vibe. We've been talking about how good our vibe's been since the spring, and we need to continue to build that and grow. And because we understand what we're all in this for, but at the end of the day, we have to beat New England because that's all that matters.
Well, first of all, when you say the word vibe, that is what I got in Oxnard. Again, that was my first training camp, so I didn't have anything to compare it to, but I felt it. So I know what you meant by the spring. Coach, I don't know if you know, but now that y'all are playing so well, I don't know if you know how this Cowboy fan base is. I'm in the heart of Cowboy country. Yeah, you can't tell a Cowboy fan that y'all aren't the best team in the NFL. I'm sitting across from one that feels like y'all are the best team in the NFL. You got these people out here going crazy, and it's only week 6.
How do you manage that?
I love that, and I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about what our fans have done at AT&T Stadium. I mean, my goodness, these last 3 weeks have been remarkable. Just the juice and the energy and the home field advantage that we have, and frankly, we're looking forward to a lot of Cowboy fans up in New England. So this is an incredible opportunity, and just love the way our fan base is bringing all this great energy.
Y'all gonna have fans in New England?
Are you kidding?
I don't know about that.
Are you kidding?
I don't
Cowboy
know about
Nation
that.
travels. Come on, Rudy.
I don't know about that.
Travels. I mean, hell, I knew that when I worked on the other side.
We've been making those Pittsburgh types mad for years. That's Coach Mike McCarthy, head coach of your Dallas Cowboys. Before we let you go, I've been trying to find this someplace, and I heard you talking about it a couple weeks ago. There's you have 6 abiding principles. Is that an appropriate statement? And what are they?
Building blocks. Yeah, I think I've given you enough on the self stuff.
Well, I got a deadline, Coach.
You're taking all the good circuit speeches from my assistant coaches. I mean, we got to. These guys are going to all benefit from.
You know what, Coach? That is what we call a forward tease. Next Friday, Coach Mike McCarthy will reveal the abiding principles of being.
On my part, but I appreciate you covering for me.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, gentlemen, it's a bye week next week. We give Coach bye weeks off here.
That's right. He will have bye week off. So you'll have 2 weeks to prepare, Coach. Just a little self-study and preparation for the next meeting. Coach, it's always a pleasure sitting down with you. You're always so open and honest, and we appreciate that from you. Head coach of Mike McCarthy of your Dallas Cowboys. Heading up to New England. Good luck this weekend, Coach. We bid you good health, good travels, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good weekend.
That was Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Cowboys, earlier today on R&R in the Morning, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Some really good stuff to talk about with Mike McCarthy as this team is gearing up for, the concern of maybe a trap game. It was interesting watching ESPN today, and they had this one listed as an upset alert. Patriots, could they upset the Dallas Cowboys? And you think about having a rookie quarterback. You heard McCarthy talking about Mac Jones and how well he has played to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think it's something that goes on, particularly in waves, more years than others. I think Mac is clearly probably the most accomplished coming out of college. I had a chance to watch him, Alabama versus Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, and he has excellent command of the offense. And I think today's quarterback, particularly in the space game, and throwing the ball and all the other things that you see more of in college, are coming in prepared, and he looks like he's handling the multiple defensive challenges that have been thrown at him so far. So I admire the young guys that are coming in and have to play in their first year, because I mean, if you ever play with a rookie quarterback, it's difficult. It's a challenge not only for the quarterback and the offense, but it's also a challenge for the whole football team. And this team here in New England, they're built the right way: defense, special teams, and the quarterback's doing a really good job, with their style of offense.
Although when you think about New England in this game, if it gets to be a shootout, I don't have a lot of confidence that Mac Jones is going to be able to get into a shootout with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have to score. The Cowboys are built to score more than 30 a game. I mean, that's by design. Can they against a New England team that hasn't allowed a team to score 30 yet this season? Bill Belichick against Kellen Moore is the matchup. Can Kellen Moore continue to call the games like he has been and catch Bill Belichick? Belichick is going to try to take away the run. He's always going to take away the thing you do best. That for the Cowboys, that starts with the run game. So if he takes away the run, passing game is going to be wide open, or should be wide open, for Dak Prescott. Who are you going to throw it to? Amari? CeeDee Lamb said, the tight end. I mean, I do have a feeling that Dalton Schultz won't be as open as he has been, because Bill Belichick twice this week in talking about the Cowboys has mentioned the fact that the Cowboys tight end is the leading receiver on this Cowboys team. And I don't think many of us would have predicted that at the beginning of the year when you look at, Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, that you would have a tight end with 26 receptions. Now, Amari's got 25 and CeeDee's got 24. So, I mean, I don't know how much longer he's going to stay as the leading receiver, but he's been the open guy. And that is the one thing that Dak Prescott has done this year, is found the open guy, exploited the mismatch, and he's not trying to force it to just one guy. He's not forcing it to CeeDee Lamb. He's not forcing it to Amari Cooper. He is taking what the defense is giving. So something is going to be given up by that Belichick defense Does Dak recognize it and play to that? Does Kellen Moore call the right plays? I don't think they're going to go over the top trying to run the ball if it's not there. I mean, you think about that first game with Tampa Bay, and Dak had to throw it 58 times in that game because Tampa Bay took away the run. I know New England's run defense isn't near as good as that Tampa Bay run defense, but certainly something that is going to be fun to watch. It's just for the Cowboys, they've got to get touchdowns and not field goals. And if it's a shootout type game, the New England offense isn't going to be able to keep up. And then you also talk about how good this Cowboys team is, they're one of the better teams in the NFC. There's no doubt. As a Cowboy homer, you want to be a little bit careful with that. I'm worried about, the typical, do they lose a game they have no business losing type scenario because they're reading all the headlines. Jerry Jones on his show on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas was actually asked and talked about how good this team could possibly be.
But I can do that after a ball game, and I do. There's so much of our game that gives you reason to be concerned or reason to doubt because just the nature of, if you look ahead at the competition, if you look ahead at the happen chance that happens in a ball game, that you can have the best team and still not come out with the win. When you look at all of the things that are ahead for you, but then you have a time, for whatever the reason, a play, a quarter, or an end of the game, to think positively, you get all over that. Jump all over it, ingest it any way you can, just soak up in it because they're rare in football. And that's what keeps you excited and passionate about making your next decision with a lot of positive to it.
And again, Jerry can talk about allowing himself to think about how good this team can be. And this team can be good. It looks like it could be one of those special seasons. Only time is going to tell. They've got to be consistent. So a game like this, they've got to go into New England and they've got to go get a win. And to do that, they've got to play good defense. And the defense has been far better than what we expected based off of what we saw last year. And then you've got Diggs turning into, if not the best cover man in the NFL right now, he is certainly right up there. And I don't know what was on Jerry's mind today when he was on 105.3 The Fan, but he certainly talked a lot about dreaming.
Well, I'd hate to let your dreams down now, because you can have some fun in dreams.
Mm-hmm, yep.
But the answer is no, because we all know that the presence, his abilities are becoming pretty accepted, and so that will impact the offenses that we play. Deion Sanders had that impact, and they played away from Deion, and it was like, in many cases, having 12 guys out there, and it was a heck of an advantage, and we used it. It's very similar to using the sideline. When you've got a ball positioned on the field, you should use your sideline as though it were another player over there if you've got the edge on him in it in, tackling or pass defense. So bottom line is that Diggs' abilities, his continued evolving will help this defense in a lot of ways. Same thing with some of the other guys that we've got out there that are showing some inordinate skills that can have a team game planning. I'll never forget Ernie Zampese. We were lining up our best players after the season one year in the early 90s or middle 90s. And we would put our top guy up there, and it might be Aikman in most cases, or it might be Emmitt Smith. We'd go down the list. And our offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese, would walk up to the board and put Charles Haley 8 inches above Aikman. Wow. And he would say, guys, this is where Charles Haley needs to go. I have game planned against him, and I understand what he is. He absolutely wrecks the mentality of any offensive coach he faces. You've got to account for him. I put him at the top of the list.
Interesting and certainly high praise. Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan. You think about the game this week, and again, if you're a Dish Network customer, you don't have CBS. The game is going to be on CBS, so you got to find alternate ways that you're going to be able to watch the game on Sunday. Don't let 3 o'clock roll around and catch you going, oh crap, what am I going to do? The Cowboys are on, and you could take away a lot of shows if you're Dish and CBS. People can live without their NCIS, can't live without their Cowboys football. And, I just still can't believe we got to deal with that in 2021 with all the different things. Game on CBS on Sunday. It's going to be a good weekend in the NFL. And one thing to watch, especially if you're a gambler, you're looking for where to put your money. We've often talked this year about how home field isn't quite the same. The road teams actually have a winning record. This week, there are more road favorites than I think I've ever seen. I don't know what the exact number is and what the record might be, but there are so many road teams that are favorites this week. It's kind of got the makings of one of those interesting weeks in the NFL where you might see some surprises. But when you look at the road teams and how many are favored, if it plays out that way, the idea of home field advantage. But you look at some of the good games this week, like Green Bay and Chicago, and just because it always is, the Chargers on the road against the 4-1 Baltimore Ravens, the Vikings on the road against Carolina. They are favored in that game. Kansas City on the road against football team. Rams on the road against the Giants favored. A home team that I'm surprised is favored is the Browns are favored over the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. I figured they would be the Cardinals being undefeated would be favored in that game, and they're not. Of course, the Cowboys road team favored over the New England Patriots, not by much. Same with the Bills and Titans. You saw last night Tampa Bay with that road win against Philadelphia, 28-22. And another thing to keep on with the NFC East, the Eagles already lost this week. Washington is going to lose this week. With Kansas City coming to town, it's the perfect get-right game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Giants are going to end up losing to the Rams. Cowboys get a win on the road at New England. That happens, and that's more separation in the NFC East. That's going to do it for the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We'll shift gears and get ready for some high school football coming up next here on San Antonio Sports Star. Why are you counting me down, Pledge? Can't we just hit the break now? 3, 2,
for $1,000 now. Enter the winning keyword, sports. SPORTS. Sports at SA.